Welcome, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Goodman, Director of Marketing and Development for the YMCA of Northwest Louisiana, and we're here at 318 Latino Studios for Shreveport-Bossier, my city, my community, my home. And can't wait to have today's discussion. Our guest is Maria Sermons. Maria, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Jeffrey.
Of course. Well, we're going to talk about a lot of things, but I want to start here. Your father started Total Yard Care with, and if I get anything wrong, please correct me. Your father started Total Yard Care with only his children as employees, and now it's a successful company with more than 30 employees. Mm-hmm. My first question is just tell me about how the business got started and some of the different services you offer.
Okay.
Today.
So my father, I'll have to backtrack to how he even ended up in Shreveport.
Yeah, please.
As a Mexican immigrant, he actually lived in Texas in construction, did road construction there. A tar truck, I guess, blew up during a construction job, and pretty much like 80% of his arms were burnt by tar. And so he was rushed or helicopter airlifted from East Texas, where they were working, to Shreveport, Louisiana, because we have one of the best burn units here in at LSU.
What year was this? Do you know?
1987.
Okay.
And so that's how he arrived here in Shreveport. So not knowing much English at the moment, because he was recent, to the U.S., the doctors at LSUS, who didn't know Spanish either, contacted the one person they knew who did speak Spanish to come in and be able to translate for them. And because, he was obviously kind of traumatized with the whole situation and not understanding, they reached out to Monsignor Murray Clayton, who was a Catholic priest at St. Joseph's Catholic School and Church here in Shreveport.
And we'll talk more about that in a little bit, because I know you have kids there and you're very involved there.
So he, rushed over, the wonderful man that he is, helping the community of Shreveport. He rushed over, met my dad. They clicked, and he was just like, you know what? You're not going back anywhere. You're going to come, and you're going to stay here in Shreveport. You're going to come work at St. Joseph's, and we're going to get your family here for you. And at the moment, it was just me and two younger brothers in Mexico. So, and then track forward maybe a year. I'm now 5 years old. By the time that we were able to move to Shreveport, and I started school here in Shreveport, and my father was working at St. Joseph's, but he's always been an ambitious man. We started school there as well, me and my younger siblings. The fourth one of us was born here. Being the ambitious man that he is, he just wanted a little more. He's always, the reason he came to the U.S. was to provide more for his family. So even there, he's like, let me try something else. He tried waitering. At that time, it was El Camino Mexican restaurant on Mansfield Road. Dr. Martinez was the one who owned it. And then he said, no, still a little more. He just wanted, and he said, one of the easiest, I wouldn't say easiest, but quickest businesses to start up with very minimal, financial stability at the moment is a lawn care business. I mean, you need a mower, you need a truck and a trailer, and you can do it. And that's what he did. And although at that time we were still too young to really, really work for him, he hired help. And but the majority of his clientele came from St. Joseph's. So it's like, well, I already work here. Let me, pass out cards wherever and go, in Broadmoor and look for. So that's, his first clientele was in Broadmoor.
And so he's cutting people's
lawns. Yeah, okay. At that moment. Well, he has the charisma. He has everything. He was providing great services. It grew. By the time, this is now 1995, it just kept growing. And by the time I was in high school, it was so big, he's like, we've got to move the business somewhere else. Now we've got 3 or something crews going on. He was hiring more people. At that time, we also started bringing in workers from Mexico under an H-2B visa program.
And when they come in like that on that visa program, how long is
for
their
the
visa
amount of
typically?
time that is our growing season, because that's what they're here for. So for us, it's April through December. Like that's when you really need yards cut and things like that. So it's a limited time and it's every year. And so we started, then. Now we're into, now we're like into 1998, 99, I think was probably the first year that he had to do that, because finding local help wasn't as easy. And then fast forward to me in high school, fast forward to me in college. I graduated college and I was thinking I wanted to do physical therapy. That wasn't the route I took, but I did finish my 4-year degree in kinesiology. And then he said, hey, I know you're looking for a job and stuff, and I was going to do community health involvement stuff. He's like, but how much? I think I had an interview at that time, Mayor Glover's office. And by now I'm already working with Vita. So that's how kind of the involvement in the community started.
Vita Reiner.
Vita Reiner.
Latino Studios, for those of you going, who's Vita?
And so he said, how much are you going to be making? What are you going to be doing? I was like, well, this and that, and I'll be tied to. He's like, do you want to, you already help me. And I have already by now, in high school, I would help him with bookkeeping and, things like that. On my summer breaks from college, I would, do invoicing for him. And I slowly learned the ropes. I love the customer service part of it.
And you're where in order of your siblings?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
And the only girl.
Okay.
So, and my brothers by now are working also on their breaks, from high school or from college, they're working for him as well. And then he said, why don't you just do this for the, that wasn't my intention. He said, I didn't want y'all to take over a business. I did this to provide for y'all. But if you're not going to do any better, anywhere else, come. So I was like, okay. And that's how it became me working for him. The flexibility I loved. When I got married and had children, it was great because I was able to be with my kids. I was able to, leave work when I needed to, as long as I got stuff done. And I really have loved it. I mean, it is what has provided for us since I was young. And it's nice to take care of something that is yours,
So fast forward to 2025, is he still involved?
He is. No, he is very much. We are, yes. I don't think he will ever fully retire. He is, aside from being ambitious, he's just I can't sit and not do nothing, So he is, as much as he, stays away from things and whatever, he still likes to do more and add on more to the company.
And so tell me a little bit about Total Yard Care in 2025, what different services you offer and provide.
Like I said, we started with one man, one mower, one truck. It turned into landscaping. It turned into majority commercial clientele now. So apartment complexes, schools, office complexes, subdivisions in general is mostly what we dedicate our time to. Now he's got trucks and hauling material, and it's turned into an operation that's great, but it's a lot more. In 2017, we had to move to a larger location on St. Vincent, and
is that where you are today?
We are, where we just could be able to keep everything together, and So it's great. It's a wonderful operation. It's been successful.
And how many of your siblings today are part of the business?
Just me.
Okay.
Yeah. So they all, again, like I said, he didn't create the business for us to work it. He created it to provide for us. And so one is in Dallas as a program. Software developer. Thank you. As a software developer, creates bank apps and stuff. Another one who moved to San Antonio originally for his engineering degree. He is now back in Shreveport because he got married, had kids, and realized he needed to be close to family when you have kids. So he works here for Modulx Solutions.
Okay.
Yeah. And Tony, the one who's after me, is autistic, so he's still with my parents and stuff. And then they still adopted a fourth who is now in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's in Oklahoma City right now.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got in this a little bit, but you've been an integral and active part of our local Hispanic community. You're currently the president of HHA, which stands for Hispanic Heritage Association. Mm-hmm. As you mentioned, your family are a bit of Mexican pioneers in this area. So my question is, talk to me about how you've seen the local Hispanic community evolve and change through the years since you've been here.
Well, I mean, it's grown drastically. I think, we've been here so I don't give away my age. I moved here when I was 5. No, 35 years, I guess. Yeah, 35 years here. When we moved here, you couldn't find a Walmart with a tortilla. You couldn't find, there was definitely no Mexican stores or Hispanic stores like we have now. And like I said, a place like LSUS knew a priest who could speak Spanish, but nobody else to translate. Now,
which is just mind-boggling.
It is.
As you're saying that, I'm thinking, there's got to be someone,
a doctor
like
somewhere,
the next office
that could do it. Yes,
I'm sure nowadays there is.
Now, we have doctors from all over the Spanish-speaking countries that are at LSUS or Highland. Nurses too, teachers, professors. Maybe you'll get to this later, but we host, every year. A dinner and an award ceremony for our local Hispanic teachers that are brought from other places just to fill in what I guess Caddo can't fill with local teachers here. It amazes me how many there are here now. I want to say like over 60 just in the Shreveport-Bossier area.
So talk about that for a second. So you bring in teachers so we have a large Hispanic population of students that...
And no, it's not even just for them.
Okay.
No, it could be teachers it could be like Spanish teachers to teach your Spanish classes in your a lot of them are that. So no, it's not necessarily for like what you're thinking, helping out with kids that are transitioning into here. It's for so many other reasons. So and that's great, but again, it goes back to showing you, I guess, kind of like in my field, how we can't find local help, that we're having to bring in, work visas to fill positions. So, but yes, so teachers, that population is growing. The professional population is growing. You've got factories like Bentler and stuff that are bringing in engineers from Mexico. And then I think a lot of Texas, Dallas and stuff, because Dallas has been so saturated. You've got business owners from Dallas that are like, this is too much, I'm going to move. And the next closest thing was Shreveport. So now you've got all these concrete companies, all these construction companies that are owned by Hispanics that have, flowed into here. It's a lot. And I know maybe Bossier might have more. I noticed that there's a lot more of our stores are in Bossier and a lot more of our restaurants are in Bossier. But I think it's
Bossier
fabulous.
High School, if I'm not mistaken,
Bossier High School has a lot more of that population, yes. And so, no, it has grown a lot. When I tell you, when I was in school and started school, friends of mine that I still have till this day from kindergarten are like, oh my gosh, it was fascinating to just ask you to say ball. Maria say, to see a kid that didn't speak English, was like, and we were the only, Mexican kids at our school at the moment. And our friends, the community of friends that my parents had was small too, like Elias Cifuentes, from Nicky's, Pancho Trejo from Trejo's. They're, some of those that were here at the beginning too of all this. And it's just like a little community. We would have Spanish or Catholic Spanish Mass at St. Mary of the Pines once a month, and Father Clayton would do the Mass because he was the only Spanish-speaking priest here, or that could speak Spanish.
And now I know, there's
multiple. There's multiple
Baptist.
Churches. Yes, all sorts of religions and groups, and
Does St. Joseph's do a Spanish Mass?
They do not do a Spanish Mass. We do have a Mexican priest, though. Yes, and but they don't do a Spanish Mass. I think for the Catholic churches and the diocese, St. Mary of the Pines and and
St. John's.
no, Christ the King in Bossier
Yeah.
do a good job of just those two communities to cover everything, and those communities have grown a lot.
So, obviously, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the Hispanic community. I mean, we're in 318 Latino Studios. One of the greatest professional things that have happened to me is meeting Vita and meeting Brian. I credit Ellen. Ellen introduced me to Brian. Thanks, Ellen. So I think extremely highly of the Hispanic community here. I feel almost part of the family. My question is, just as you look around and think about the growth of the Hispanic community here locally, what are some steps you feel could be taken to further integrate the Hispanic community into the greater Shreveport-Bossier community?
I think the things that, like you said, 318 Latino is doing, the things Vita Reiner has been doing since she's lived in Shreveport, helping the Hispanic community connect with the rest of the community, are essential and part of what you're talking about.
To help them assimilate.
To help, for sure. I think a lot of people, when you move, and this would be for anyone moving into a country or to a city or to a state, different state that you don't know anyone, is hard enough. Now think about, not knowing the language. Now, I say that, but I do also highly stress the importance of that community, meaning the migrant, to learn the community and the language as well. I think that's very, very, very important as well. I say that at work too, with any of our employees too. Like getting them English classes or something. It's very important. If you were to move to another country, I'm sure you would learn the language, right? As well. Yeah. So that's highly important too. I stress that as well. But there's still that fear of really integrating, And so providing events like we do, whether it's an awards ceremony for Hispanic entrepreneurs, or it's a community health fair, for Hispanics to, providing all that, or a little workshop for kids, for Hispanic children, to become entrepreneurs in their life, helps them because it just makes you feel like that's, your community and you're all doing it together. And it just opens up that door of confidence, maybe, of more confidence, to be able to not be afraid of integrating into that new community. So I think, I can't remember because I was too young to know what it's like to move, somewhere. I just remember starting school and I enjoyed myself. But I'm sure it's a scary thought regardless. I do remember one thing though, when we did land here, getting off the plane, and it was middle of August, and oh my goodness, I was like, we are in a furnace. I do remember that, being total shock of whew, so, but.
Do you see any major void or gap in terms of what we currently have in the community to support the ever-growing Hispanic population? Meaning, is there something that is very obvious that we're missing or that we need to add that you see? And maybe not. I look around and I feel like every year this community is just getting richer and richer and more multi-ethnic, and the Hispanic community to me is just such a welcome addition in terms of its growth and their contribution. Right.
I think I really don't think we're missing anything. I think if anything, it's sometimes our side that fails to see that things are available to you, but I don't think anyone's failing at providing that to them. Does that? Yeah. I think maybe sometimes there's just still a little fear in things, and it could be because of what's going on in society at the moment. It could be of what's going on in politics at the moment. But I don't think there's anything missing. Like you said, people are flourishing. I think if you really wanted to do it, you can and you should. With the right tools that I think are also provided. throughout the community. So, and I say this because I see it happening, and we do it. I mean, we, like you said, 318 Latino provides all these workshops. Hispanic Heritage Association provides all these community-based connections for people. So if people aren't taking advantage of them, that's not the community's fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's another thing. So if I could stress enough for people just to pay attention to the right things, but that's in any community, really.
So what's the best way? Like, I'm newly arrived. I'm part of the Hispanic population. I'm newly arrived to this community. I want to get in touch with Hispanic Heritage Association. You guys have a website, right?
I mean, I think with everything, Facebook, social media. I tell everyone that, even people that just move into
Hispanic Heritage Association has a Facebook page.
Yeah. 318 Latino has a Facebook. I think everybody, nowadays has a Facebook page. And everybody, no matter what language, I feel like has a Facebook, account. That's the first thing they do, whether you're Mexico, Canada, or Louisiana.
But if you're listening to this and you're newly arrived, I highly encourage, and you're part of the Hispanic population, I highly encourage you to contact HHA, Hispanic Heritage Association, and they're there to help you better
with anything,
better situate yourself.
And if we can't, I mean, we'll look for it for you and connect you to the right, path on where you need to get to. But yes, that's like I said, the information is there. Everything, all the help is there. You just have to be willing and fearless to ask for it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna kind of move away from the Hispanic population a little bit for a second. I just want to kind of get your thoughts and opinions and views on the community at large, like just Shreveport-Bossier in general. And so, and I ask a lot of my guests these next two questions. So my first question for you is just, as you look out at our community in general, what are some of the things that concern you the most, or what are some of the things that keep you up at night, or that you wish were better?
I mean, you're probably going to guess the answer, right? But I think crime is an issue in our city. I do. But I think bigger than the crime is focusing on the crime and focusing on the negativity. And, I said this, I don't recall if you were at our Noche de Gala this year, but I do remember stressing to our audience that night that if you live somewhere, or you're part of some kind of organization, or even a gym, the only way that place is going to be good is as good as the people that are in it. And if you don't love it and you don't enjoy it and you're not promoting that, then, go to the next one or move somewhere else, or, So I say the same thing about complaining or being negative or focusing on the negativity in your city. Instead of focusing on that, let's focus on the positive stuff to make it better, or get out of here, And I know that might not be the option for everybody, but it's just like a failed marriage. You keep complaining and complaining and complaining about it. And I'm not encouraging divorce here. I'm not. Or a gym, if you're complaining about it. Or a school, Let's do something to make it better. Don't just sit there and complain and focus on the negativity, because guess what? I mean, the grass ain't always greener on the other side, So that part I think is worse than even the crime or the negativity, is focusing on the people that focus on that negativity. I love the people who are all love Shreveport, love this, and focus on the events that we have here. And look at this, look how great that is. That I love, because you know what? You are doing what is going to make a place better, because you live in it and you want it to be better, right? I tell people that sometimes, maybe as growing up, our parents put us in this bubble and we never saw what really happens, in the majority of the city otherwise, until you become an adult. And that's all fine and dandy, but also I think that being in that bubble helped me appreciate what I didn't see, because I'm like, oh, well, you don't get mad about it. Does that make sense? Like, you don't get frustrated with it as easily. And I think people sometimes just get a little too overwhelmed with things. And I would just say, try to focus on the better part. Does that make any sense?
That. Yeah, all of it.
So promote the good stuff, promote the parades, promote the, like earlier, Cork, promote all the events, go to the events, and just stop focusing on the bad parts, Yeah. And I think also moving away from it isn't going to make it any better either, because I think it's just kind of allowing things to happen too. So that's it. Just focus on the negativity is what I think is bad in our community.
Yeah, I agree. And we've talked a lot about that on this podcast, just that we have a self-esteem issue and why is that and why is there so much negativity? And so trying to kind of get at the core of that and highlighting people like you and our other 133 guests so far who are doing important uplifting work to make our community better. And I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think a community survives or fails because of the people.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. That's really it.
And so just on the flip side of that question, just, what makes you optimistic? Just when you wake up in the morning and you go outside in Shreveport-Bossier, what are some things that make you feel like things are getting better every year, or things are moving in a positive direction here? Or my kids are inheriting a city that's even better and brighter than what I found when I got here at age 5.
I do. I think they are inheriting a better city. What gets me up in the morning and bright and early and feeling optimistic for the day is going to the gym, for starters. So I love that y'all built that gym down on in South Shreveport. But also a lot more things I think that are available now. I know we, going back to the things that maybe we had once and aren't there anymore. But again, it all has to do with how we are involved in it. If we lost something, it's probably because we didn't take advantage of it, as we should have. But I also think that there's a lot more, new things coming along the way. I love our school that we're in. I love the school that
St. Joseph.
Yes, that my kids go to every day. I love my job, and I'm in downtown Cedar Grove area, and I love going to work every day. In that location, I love the restaurants. I think we have awesome restaurants in Shreveport. I mean, and we've traveled quite a bit, I would say, within the U.S. We just got back from New Mexico, and you go to Florida, you go to the southern states are all great, but our food in Louisiana is awesome. I mean, we just have some amazing food, and I think Shreveport has some amazing restaurants. We really do. So props to them for providing that. I think we have great shopping. I love, the places that we have to shop. I know that physical shopping is kind of declining because we're all ordering stuff online. I love the events that we have, I look forward to running the Angel Run every year. I look forward to coming to the Revel every year. Logan earlier was talking about Cork coming up. I got trouble at Cork last time I was. I'll bring my ID. No, but they're fun events. They're all fun events, and that's downtown. It's downtown Shreveport. We host our school auction here at Petroleum Club downtown for the last 3 or 4 years. Downtown's great. I hate that there's not more stuff to enjoy. But again, I think if people would just come and enjoy these things, there would be more,
absolutely.
Why can't we be a Natchitoches? I mean, Natchitoches is so small. I think Shreveport could be an even better Natchitoches. So no, I do love this city. I do. And I do look forward to doing things in it. I look forward to participating in events. I look forward to my kids going to things, participating in sports and our lakes. I even like our lakes. So Shreveport is a great place.
I agree.
Yeah. Or else I wouldn't be here.
Well, Maria, those are my set questions for you. As I told you before we started, we have all the time. If there's anything else you want to share, I know you do a lot in the community, and as I said before, I love the Hispanic community. I love all that you do for it, and really appreciate you being here. Is there anything else that you, by all means, this is your time. So,
well, thank you, Jeffrey. No, I mean, thank you for doing this. This is great for letting people, speak out about our community, letting our community know more about what goes on that we might not know about.
Well, tell me, just kind of give me like a high level view of HHA events coming up in the next 6 months, like Hispanic Heritage Association events that maybe we don't know about that are coming up.
Well, you've got, okay, so we've got our, and these might be more, close to those communities, but like I said, we've got our teacher appreciation for all of Hispanic teachers. We've got our, Taco Wars. Yeah, Taco Wars is coming up. That'll be in May as well. And I know we'll have another Noche de Gala at the end of this year again. And, Noche de Gala is really what started, I think, this whole Hispanic Heritage Association.
And that was at one of the casinos last year?
We had it. We hosted it there. The first one we hosted in 2007 here at Holiday Inn down there. And it was really, again, going back to how our Hispanic community is shy to integrate with the rest of, Shreveport-Bossier, and even East Texas. And at the time, Vita Reiner was working for Alpha Media, so for radio. We had a local radio station, Spanish radio station at the time. She saw how the Hispanic community was growing and how entrepreneurship and businesses, Hispanic-owned businesses were growing. But she saw that, these businesses weren't being recognized. I mean, they're there, but not like other ones that are involved in a chamber of commerce, for instance, or awarded something, or, that maybe SB Magazine go to give them a, Shreveport. Because I don't know if it's because they don't want to, or they're scared to, or whatever, or they're just too busy working. That might be the real solution. The business owner is doing everything from running the front desk to bookkeeping to running everything. Maybe they're just don't have the time to go to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, to be involved in these things, to be recognized. So we said, let's start an award ceremony to recognize the best of the best that we have. And we did. And we included East Texas at the moment because Alpha Media did East Texas businesses as well. And it was a great turnout. And it was a gala. You got dressed up, you came. At the moment, Mayor Glover, I think, came in and, did his thing. Every year, our mayors will come to the event. And ever since then, we've just done, now we'll take a break in between because it's become a bigger production. But it helps motivate these business owners, just like you receiving an SB Magazine award or being recognized by the Chamber of Commerce. It gives them motivation to be like, heck, people like me, people like my business or what I do, or my service is great, let me keep going and do better. So that's what Noche de Gala is all about, is recognizing Hispanic business owners.
And y'all will do that annually?
Mm-hmm. We will continue to do that annually. The other one we did, was our Hispanic Heritage Festival, right? Which the history at the aquarium. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that one, the history on that one was, along the years, I would tell Vita, I said, gosh, we celebrate Cinco de Mayo, or people celebrate Cinco de Mayo every year. Restaurants, it's their way of probably selling more beer and margaritas, But you know how Cinco de Mayo derived from, right?
No.
Corona. Corona just said, yeah, we're going to make this a thing, Cinco de Mayo. It is not Mexico's independence. It is one simple battle fought in Puebla, okay? I wouldn't say simple, I would say just one small battle within the whole revolution. But it is not our Independence Day. Our Independence Day is September 16th. I told Vita, I'm just, tired of people thinking that Cinco de Mayo is our Independence Day, and it's not. I said, so can we celebrate our Independence Day? And she said, we could. I think I just wanted a party. But Vita's like, yeah, let's call the consulate. So we called the consulate. They came over. This was 2016. They came over. We hosted it on Cross Lake. We did what we call a grito, which is like the proclamation, I guess, of our independence. And we had a mariachi and everything. And we're like, this is great. I mean, we need to make this a bigger thing. Well, then we realized, look, it's not just Mexicans that are here. We've got Puerto Ricans, we've got Ecuadorians, we've got Colombians, we've got Argentinians. We need to recognize them. And lo and behold, Hispanic Heritage Month is a thing. And we're like, and we don't celebrate that.
Month?
It runs from October to November, like October 15th to November 15th.
Okay.
And she, and we're like, we just need to make this a festival and bring it to Shreveport. I mean, all other cities do it, and that's how it became bigger. And we started hosting it at the aquarium, and we call it, Hispanic Heritage Festival instead of just Mexica's independence or anything. But again, that's how it derived. I said, I'm just, Cinco de Mayo. Nobody knows what it really is. We just know we got to drink margaritas and buy more Corona. And it's great for restaurants. Don't get me wrong. But our real independence is September 16th. And the majority of Central South America's independence come in between those months, September, October, and November. The majority of them have those, their independence.
And state fair, y'all do state fair.
We do the state fair, yes. Latino Day at the state fair, huge too. Probably one of the most populated days at the state fair is Latino Day. We have people coming in from East Texas, Vita, lines up all these performances and stuff. So I know it's great for the state fair because I'm also on that board of the State Fair of Louisiana. So it, all things. One of the things that also Vita got me involved in. For some reason, I can't say no to that woman.
Vita hadn't been on the sofa, but she is just a force for the Hispanic community.
For the whole community.
Yes.
Yeah, for the whole community, for sure. Like I said, most people, they say like, oh, who should I reach out to? And I'm like completely, I know I should know, but the first person I'm calling is Vita. Like she is the directory of directories for everything, and again, if she can't find the answer for you. She's the
godmother.
She is the godmother. She doesn't like the attention, but she is. Behind everything, behind HHA, it should be Vita. Behind 318 Latino, it should be Vita. It's definitely her. So
anything else?
No, I think that's it. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Of course,
again.
Thanks for making
speaking.
it.
Yeah.
We'll
And
see you at
thank
the
you
Y.
for the Y. Yes, thank you for that Y. We do love the Y. It is always packed there. Like I told you, we just had my parents just signed up. My mother-in-law who moved in from Alexandria is there, enjoying all her classes at the Y. So that's a great, YMCA. I can't believe I waited this long to sign up at the Y. But I should have been a member at the Y, all my life. But
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.